Good morning. So today we're going to create a Google form and build our sections so that next week we could add our content from our planning template into our Google form. So you'll see that I've split my screen. I have my planning template on the left and my Google Drive on the right. That'll just allow for easy transferring of information. And I also have my curriculum since I've made note in my template that I want to reference those problems. So I'm going to open up a blank Google form by clicking on New, More, and Google Forms. So this is going to start off by giving me a blank template. Essentially, this white box is my section 1. So I'm going to add my title. And my first question is, what is your name? The nice thing is this defaults to short answer, but if it doesn't, you'll want to make sure you choose that so your students could add their name. I'm going to change that. I'm going to turn on the required switch so that in case students forget to enter their name in, it won't let them progress through the Google form unless they've input that information. So now I'm going to click on this plus sign button over here on the right, and I'm going to click Add Question. Who is your teacher? So I am going to make this a multiple choice question. And I am going to be the only teacher administering this review form, but if you weren't, you could always have multiple teachers' names listed as your options. And that's another way to branch the form in the future, or it's just an easy way to organize the data when you get all the results back in. So I'm going to change my options to all of my classes. I have 3 sections of math. If you only have one, you can always just have your teacher's name in there, but it's nice to just add in. Sometimes Google extensions and add-ons ask for that when you're sending back feedback. By default, I always make sure I include this. So I want to also require this question, and I prefer collecting the students' email addresses, so all I did was click send and then check that box. So now I have my section 1 complete. So here I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to build all of my sections. I'm going to end up with 13 sections of content and then a 14th section for the landing page or the end page when they get done with all of the content. So for every one of my concepts, so I have adding whole numbers, subtracting whole numbers, multiplying whole numbers, and dividing whole numbers. I want to make sure that I have a section for each of those, but then within those, there's going to be a total of 3 sections. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to create my section, and I'm going to call it adding whole numbers. Now you'll see when I clicked that button down here, if you hover over it, it says add section, but it's just 2 lines, 2 thick lines. It kind of looks like an equal sign, and it creates a section 2 of 2. So as you can see, that aligns with my section over here. And then I'm going to add a new section, and I'm going to call this well done. Now you can add any positive feedback that you want. You can make it very specific to the content. You can make it very specific to your classroom culture. For now, I'm going to leave it as well done because I'm just focusing on building the form. I can add in content later. I can change the section titles later on, but I just want to make sure that my sections, like section 3, aligns with section 3 over here on my planning template because that'll help me branch the form later on. So I'm going to click this equals button again, and I'm going to build my last section for this topic. And I'm going to call it Let's Practice. Again, you can change this feedback, but this is where my supplemental resources are going to go. So my videos, my screenshots of my examples, and then also my supplemental question is going to go here too. So you'll see that my supplemental resources are in section 4, and they are in section 4 over on the right in my Google form. So as you continue to build, it's going to follow that pattern. It's going to be your concept, and then your well done page, and then your supplemental feedback page section. So you'll want to make sure for each concept you have a total of 3. So go ahead and build on that, and you will have a total of 13 sections because your first section is your chapter 1 review. And please do not hesitate to ask if you have any questions.